Okay, good morning. Welcome to one of two of the open houses that we are holding um, for the proposed Arlington Fire Department annexation into North County Regional Fire Authority. I'm Paul Ellis. I'm the city administrator of the city of Arlington. This morning I have Chief Dave Kraske of the Arlington Fire Department with me and Chief John Cermak, North County Regional Fire Authority. Due to the pandemic, unfortunately, we're unable to meet in person. So we're holding these open houses via Zoom and live streaming them on YouTube. If you're joining us this morning on Zoom, you'll be able to submit questions that we will answer at the end of towards the end of our morning by typing them into the question and answer section on the Zoom webinar. Sarah Lopez, our revitalization manager for the city of Arlington, will be moderating this morning for us, and she'll be asking the questions. We will begin this morning with just a kind of a brief overview, followed by some PowerPoint slides presented by Chief Kraske, and then we'll happy to answer any questions after that. So with that, again, welcome, and I'll turn it over to Chief Kraske.
Good morning. Thanks, Paul. Sarah, if I'm able to share a screen here, you can enable me to do that, please. Got a PowerPoint presentation in a non-COVID environment. I intended in the months as we were leading up to this, we were hoping that the restrictions would have been reduced and we'd be able to do a lot more things in face-to-face. So I intended on leading up to this that I'd be doing presentations to every community group I could get in front of, whether it was the homeowners association or Chamber of Commerce or Rotary Club, whoever it was. But instead, we've been doing all those by Zoom, and it's been going pretty well. We have a PowerPoint presentation that's about 20 slides that answers most all the questions. And then we produced about a video that's about 4 minutes long. And a lot of that information is duplicated from the PowerPoint presentation, but we've gotten really good feedback on it in that if somebody doesn't know anything about the annexation proposal, if they watch the video when they get the ballot in the mailbox, they at least have an idea of what we're trying to accomplish. So I'll go through the PowerPoint with you, and then we'll show the video and then do some question and answer. All right, so bring this up. Terrific. Paul, can you see that?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yep, your screen's up.
Terrific. Okay, this is the opening slide. It just has one of our employees, Willie Harper, and a North County employee, Joel Smith, standing in front of a respective apparatus from each agency. So a little bit about the Arlington Fire Department. We serve a population, our last census was just over 20,600 people. We respond to approximately 5,000 calls per year. In 2020, that number was about just over 5,000 calls. We're one of only 3 remaining city-run fire departments in Snohomish County. That's an important point that I want to talk about for a moment. And that if you think about all the other, there's roughly 23 or 24 cities and towns in Snohomish County, and only 3 of them still run a municipally operated fire department. So if you think of other communities similar to the size of Arlington, whether it be Monroe, Lake Stevens, Stanwood, all of those municipalities at some point over the last few decades, this has been going on, have decided that this isn't the best operational method for them to deliver fire and emergency medical services. So they have combined with neighboring fire protection districts or formed regional fire authorities, as we're in the process of trying to do now. Arlington Fire Department provides, and of the 3, in case you're curious, the other, so Arlington, Everett, and Mukilteo are the 3 municipal run fire departments in Snohomish County. If you've been following the news and like the Everett Herald the last few weeks, Everett is about a year behind us in this process, and they are beginning discussions now to consolidate with the neighboring fire department. The Arlington Fire Department provides high quality fire and emergency medical services for residents and businesses, including fire suppression, fire prevention, emergency medical services, being advanced life support, which is paramedics, and basic life support, which is EMTs. Quality emergency services are important to a safe and thriving community. The city of Arlington is struggling to fund fire and emergency medical services and other services city residents want, such as police, roads, parks, trails, and community facilities. The general fund provides most city services. I have two budgets. I have a fire budget and an EMS budget, and my fire budget is funded through the city's general fund. And out of the general fund come fire, police, streets, parks and trails, and community facilities. Protecting emergency service levels, costs outside the city's control are increasing faster than the revenue available to provide these services. The fire and EMS is the most expensive department that is funded out of the general fund. Fire and EMS costs alone exceed all property tax revenue that the city collects without the EMS levy and an annual utility fee that allows the city to fund other services. This is a 10-year projection that our finance director put together for us a couple months ago as we were building this presentation. So I'm really pleased in this whole process that the city is being really proactive in this. Looking out the next few years, we realize we have a funding crisis that is looming out around 2024-25. So rather than reaching that point and saying, what do we do now? We're really being proactive and trying to get ahead of this. So you can kind of see the descending graphs there. And in 2024-25, the general fund dips from positive to a negative. And really, when that occurs, if there's not some other funding mechanism in place, really the unfortunate thing is there's got to be a cut in services. Something has to change because we won't be able to afford to continue to provide the service. Protecting emergency service levels. As emergency service costs continue to increase, the city is asking voters to annex the Arlington Fire Department to the North County Regional Fire Authority, also known as North County Fire and EMS. Annexation will protect emergency service levels, and it leaves revenue for other city services that contribute to our quality of life. This is our current funding mechanism for fire and EMS. So currently, property owners pay a property tax levy to the city for fire and EMS and other services. They also pay an EMS levy, and all utility customers pay an ambulance utility fee. The ambulance utility fee was designed as a temporary funding for emergency services until a permanent solution such as annexation could be found. This discussion has been going on for several years. In 2017, the city was in similar discussions with the city of Marysville, the Marysville Fire District, and Snohomish County Fire District 12. At the end of 2017, the city kind of left those discussions and didn't feel it was in the city's best interest. So in early 18, the mayor asked me to reach out to Chief Cermak, who's with us this morning, and see if North County had similar, if they had interest in having similar discussions to see if us joining the Regional Fire Authority made sense. And they did. And so in 2018, Chief Cermak and I started meeting. We'd meet every 2 weeks, and we met about 6 or 8 times. And from those discussions, we realized, yeah, we have a lot of similarities and there's some things we can do that operationally make sense. And from those, in 2019, we have some joint positions in that we share some employees. We currently share a medical services administrator that oversees the EMS programs in both departments. We oversee a fire marshal that oversees construction plan review, the annual business inspection program, construction inspections, all those things, inspecting all the inherent fire protection in building construction. So we share that position. We also share a community resource paramedic. And a community resource paramedic is someone that if we have people in our communities that are high utilizers of the 911 service, Darren is our community resource paramedic. Darren will go out and visit with them and see if there's things that can be done to help them so they're not such a high utilizer of the 911 service. And those things can be as simple as installing handrails in their home to prevent falls, working with them on medications, working with their physician on adjusting medications so that they're not calling 911 quite so much for things that are at a lower level of acuity. So annexation will reduce the city's property tax levy and repeal the ambulance utility fee and the EMS levy. If annexation is approved, property owners would pay a dedicated fire levy and an EMS levy directly to North County Regional Fire. Arlington will reduce its general property tax levy and repeal the EMS levy and ambulance utility fee. So what is a regional fire authority? It's a special purpose taxing and independent taxing authority, much like a water district or sewer district. formed by 2 or more fire protection districts located within reasonable proximity of each other, and it's created by a vote of its residents. In this ballot measure that's coming up on February 9th, only the residents of the city of Arlington will vote. The way that the North County Regional Fire Authority wrote its charter when they became a fire authority is that another entity may join, and it's just that incoming entity's voters that need to vote to approve or deny. North County Regional Fire Authority, also known as North County Fire and EMS, serves North Snohomish County and the city of Stanwood. It includes the communities of Bryant, Freeborn, and Warm Beach. It was one of the first regional fire authorities formed in Washington State after the legislature created the language. And that happened when Snohomish County Fire Districts 14 and 18. So District 14 was the area that a lot of us know as Warm Beach, and District 18 is the area that we know north of Arlington as Bryant. Those 2 departments combined in 2008, and then about 10 years later, in 2018, the city of Stanwood voted to join the RFA. So the departments have a lot of similarities. We only greatly differ in one way. We both serve similar populations. The population of Arlington is 20,600. Population of the fire authority's response area is 25,000. In 2019, we responded to just over 5,000 calls. They were about 700 calls behind us, about 4,300 calls. And the personnel is career staff, so we have about 30 career members. They have 28, and we both operate as a combination department, meaning we have career staff and part-time members, and we currently share those part-time members. They work in both jurisdictions. So the only thing we differ greatly on is jurisdiction. Arlington responds to 5,000 calls in virtually a 10 square mile area based on our density, and North County responds to 4,500 calls in about 110 square miles. So they're a much more rural community covering a lot more square mileage. So a strong partnership. As I mentioned here a few moments ago, the Arlington Fire Department and North County Regional Fire Authority currently share a medical services officer, a fire marshal, a community paramedic, training programs, and part-time personnel. Annexation is more cost-effective for taxpayers. Finalizing this partnership through annexation would allow better deployment of personnel, improve training opportunities for firefighters, provide more emergency resources for city residents, and residents would not pay for ambulance transport in excess of insurance payments. So what I mean by that is currently in the city of Arlington, if you call 911 for an EMS response and we come out and we transport you or a family member to the hospital, we'll bill your insurance company, and then the insurance company will pay, and what they pay is usually a set amount. And then we will, if there's an unpaid balance, we currently will invoice or bill the patient for that unpaid balance. In North County, if you're a resident of the fire authority, you're not billed. So whatever your insurance company pays, that is what goes towards that transport, and the rest is not billed on to you as a resident of the fire authority. So that's a big win for city residents. It avoids duplication of costs of additional administrative personnel and emergency personnel. And long-term savings, and this is another big win for everyone, is that in the long term, future capital needs such as fire stations, fire engines, whatever large costing equipment that we're purchasing would be shared by more people. Annexation maintains local control. North County Regional Fire is governed by a board of fire commissioners elected by voters in its service area. City residents would be eligible to run for fire commissioner seats, vote for fire commissioners, vote on fire authority levies and bonds. Arlington would still have local firefighters participating in community events like the annual Santa Run Food Drive. No change to the fire stations in the city, and we still have fire prevention programs in the schools. My hope in all of this is that if voters approve this measure in a few weeks, is that as time goes on, 6 months, 12 months from now, they really notice no change. The residents and business owners of the community will not notice any change in service. It's just, we'll just be, operationally, we'll be shifting to a different organization and a different funding mechanism, but the service that we deliver will not change, nor will the people who deliver that service. So without annexation, the city will have to double the ambulance utility fee and increase its EMS levy. Annexation proposal on the February 9th, 2021 special election ballot is for voters in the city of Arlington. And if annexation is approved, Arlington will reduce its general property tax levy and repeal the EMS levy and ambulance utility fee. It would retain some property tax revenue for services that the community wants. So what will annexation cost? If approved by voters, annexation will be effective August 1st of 2021. Changes in property taxes will occur in 2022. And based on the most recent property tax data, the net financial result would be that 54% of the homeowners would pay the same or less money than they currently pay. 28% would see an increase up to $5 per month or $60 per year, and 18% would see an increase greater than $5 per month. It's important to note that this is based on your assessed value, not on your resale value, so to speak. So if you were to put your home up for sale today, and then it sold for $500,000 based on current market, that's not, in most all cases, that's not what your assessed valuation is from the county. So if you go online and you use the calculator, please use the assessed number that you get from the county assessor's office. So without annexation, the city will have to double the ambulance utility fee and increase its EMS levy to meet the rising costs to provide fire and EMS. And property owners can compare what they would pay with the annexation calculator. If you go to the City of Arlington website and in the search bar, just enter Regional Fire Authority, lots of information will come up, including the calculator. So kind of a timeline. In late October through early November, we did some public meetings on the annexation proposal. This all started 2 Arlington City Council members and 2 Fire Authority commissioners, as well as city staff and fire administration, began meeting in the spring of 2020. And throughout 2020, we met 16 times to get this to a point of, does this make sense and do we want to put it before the voters? So part of that process then, when we decided, yes, this makes sense, is that we had some public meetings on it to hear if there was any public opinion. The City Council passed a resolution on November 2nd to move forward. And now from that point now through really this next week, doing a lot of presentations, all virtual because of COVID, and for a February 9th ballot. And the auditor mailed ballots out on Thursday. So I think they hit mailboxes yesterday and today. So if annexation is approved, the partnership will be finalized in August of 2021. And in January of 22, it would appear on tax statements. So that is the PowerPoint presentation. And like I said at the beginning, we produced a video for someone, because of COVID and not being able to get the message out to everyone. We thought it'd be a good idea to produce a video. It's worked out really well. It's about 4 minutes long, and it answers a lot of these same questions, and I've gotten really good feedback on it. So I can play that, and then we can kind of do a question and answer. You see that, John?
Yes. The audio is not loud enough.
I'm Arlington Fire Chief Dave Preston, and I'm here to talk to you about the Arlington Fire Department and the annexation proposal the voters will be asked to consider. In February, residents of the City of Arlington will get to vote on annexing the City Fire Department to our neighboring fire authority, North County Regional Fire Authority. North County is our neighbor to the north and west, a fire authority that formed when Fire Districts 14 and 18 combined in 2008, and then the City of Stanwood voted to join in 2018. The Arlington Fire Department and North County Regional Fire Authority currently share a medical services officer, fire marshal, a community resource paramedic, training programs, and part-time emergency personnel. Finalizing this partnership through annexation has a number of important benefits from my perspective. It would immediately allow better deployment of personnel, improve training opportunities for firefighters, and provide more emergency resources for city residents. Over time, annexation will reduce the need for more administrative staff and emergency personnel. Annexation is more efficient for taxpayers long-term because capital needs such as fire stations, apparatus, and equipment will be cost shared by more people. I've lived here most of my life, and I'm proud to be your fire chief. I know that quality emergency services are important to our community. Having participated in the budgeting process, it is clear that the City of Arlington is struggling to fund fire and emergency medical services and other services residents want, such as police, roads, parks, trails, and community facilities. Costs outside the city's control are rising faster than the revenue available to provide these services, and fire and emergency medical services are the most expensive services that the city provides. Fire and emergency medical services costs alone would exceed all property tax revenue the city collects if it were not for an EMS levy and an ambulance utility fee. As emergency services costs continue to increase, the city is asking voters to annex the Arlington Fire Department to the North County Regional Fire Authority. This will protect emergency service levels and leave revenue for other city services that contribute to our quality of life in Arlington. Arlington is one of only 3 remaining city-run fire departments in Snohomish County. Many fire departments are coming together to form or join regional fire authorities like we are proposing. Currently, all property owners pay a property tax levy to the city for fire, EMS, and other services. They also pay a dedicated EMS levy, and all utility customers pay an ambulance utility fee. This fee was designed as a temporary funding solution for emergency services until a permanent solution, such as annexation, could be found. If voters approve annexation, property owners would pay a dedicated fire levy and an EMS levy directly to the North County Regional Fire Authority. This agency is a separate taxing district. North County Regional Fire Authority is governed by a board of fire commissioners elected by voters in the service area. City residents would be eligible to run for commissioner seats, vote for fire commissioners, and vote on fire authority levies and bonds. Arlington would still have fire stations in the city, fire prevention programs in the schools, and our local firefighters participating in community events, including the annual Santa Run food drive. All staff and emergency personnel will become employees of the North County Regional Fire Authority. If annexation is approved, Arlington will reduce its general property tax levy, repeal the EMS levy, and repeal the ambulance utility. The city would retain some property tax revenue for other services the community wants. If approved, when annexation takes effect in 2022, the net financial result that year would be that 54% of the homeowners would pay the same for less money. 28% would see an increase up to $5 per month or $60 per year, and 18% would see an increase greater than $5 per month. Without annexation, the city is budgeted to double the ambulance utility fee and plans to increase its EMS levy to meet the rising costs to provide fire and emergency medical services. Property owners can compare what they would pay with the annexation calculator. Thank you for considering our annexation to the North County Regional Fire Authority. All right. Any questions? A couple of the more common questions that I've been asked is about probably around done about a dozen of these presentations. And the question I've been asked the most is there going to be any staff reductions in this? And I appreciate the fact that the community does not want to see any staff reductions, and there will not be any staff reductions in this process. All Arlington personnel will be retained and employment transferred over to the fire authority. Sarah, do we have any questions?
No questions yet. Can you restart your video, please, Dave?
Yes. Why did that go off? Sorry about that. John, did I leave anything out?
No, I think you hit all the highlights. The city administration or city voters will be allowed to be participants in North County Regional Fire Authority's governance, and we take an approach of looking at our data and staffing our department based on the data. And we've capitalized on all of these projects. I think probably one of the strongest notes is I don't think during the pandemic either of us would be as strong as what we've been without these partnerships and being able to be as proactive as possible. So it's been a great partnership.
You know, one thing I just thought of as you were talking is the fire commissioner seats. So how those will work is they'll be districted. So an outside company will look at the entire fire authority, and based on population, the seats will be districted. So it looks like within the city limits of Arlington, John Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's going to be about 2 to 2.5, 2.5 seats on the commission that'll be from residents of the city.
And currently, the way our board, we're district, and we also have non-districted positions. So city constituents would also be available to be part of those elected positions also.
For the mute. That's correct. So the governance model, if the annexation is approved, to begin, 3 members of the council will be appointed to the North County Regional Fire Authority Commission to be seated in there as part of the commission. Over time, those appointed positions will be replaced with elected positions from the communities. And like Chief said, it's based on population, but the model will be there'll be 7 commissioners overall, appointed, 5 of them appointed to districts based on population. With the population right now and as it's projected in the future, about 2 or 2.5 of those positions would be from the city of Arlington, 1 from the city of Stanwood, 2 from others are about 1.5 from the rural area. In addition to that, there's 2 at-large seats that can be elected from any portion of the district. So that could be in the city of Arlington, city of Stanwood, or the unincorporated area, or any combination thereof.
There doesn't seem
Sarah,
to be
any
any question. There doesn't seem to be any question.
Okay, well, great. I appreciate everybody's time that sat in us this morning, and anybody who takes the opportunity to view this on YouTube in the future. If you do have questions, if they come up or you are one that is viewed on YouTube, I encourage you to go to our website and we have frequently asked questions there that may address your needs. Also, the calculator is available. You can punch in your own evaluation and see the effects of the annexation. Also, our contact information is available on there. We'll answer questions by phone or by email or whatever comfortable for you. So I'd encourage anyone with questions to check the website, and we can certainly help get your questions answered. So on behalf of all of us, thank you. Oh, it looks like maybe I have a question now.
It's just a comment from Liz Loomis.
Oh, okay.
She says, nice job.
All right,
the
on
Thank you.
behalf of all of us, thank you for your time, and have a safe weekend.
Thank you.